politically charged issues dominating conversations in Jamaica at this time. Britain's push to build a prison on the island to house Jamaican convicts serving time behind bars in Britain. Reparation for slavery and a shocking defeat to Damion Crawford in representational politics. Damion Crawford is the flamboyant, dreadlocks-wearing young member of the People's National Party, PNP, who became a rock star in Jamaican politics from challenging the political establishment, including his own party. In 2010, Crawford pulled off his first major political victory when he won the East Rural St. Andrews seat for the PNP to become one of the youngest and the first dreadlocked member of Parliament in Jamaica's history. The PNP won the election and Crawford was soon appointed State Minister with special responsibility for the entertainment portfolio in the Ministry of Tourism and Entertainment in the new Portia Simpson Miller administration. The Honourable Minister's defeat in the polls for an incumbent candidacy in the next general elections is particularly shocking because it was widely perceived that he was doing a great job both as an MP and also as head of the entertainment portfolio. A big question from the entertainment sector right now is how will this crushing defeat impact the progress made under Crawford's leadership in moving the fledgling entertainment sector forward. That's why he's on our stage right now. Mr. Crawford, Minister, welcome, sir. Good to have you right here.
Thank you.
There was a protest in the constituency post the elections.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, there are some persons who were not in the main delegates and had no vote, but they were PNP supporters.
Yes.
There were 503 delegates. However, we had 10,000 votes as a PNP candidate.
Yes.
So there were many persons, 9,500, who were not delegates, but were core supporters of the People's National Party.
But where weren't they? Is there a limit to how many people can be delegates?
No, a delegate is based on a person who's a member of the party, which is different from a supporter.
So they were not
of
registered members?
No, no.
And so why didn't you get them registered?
Well, there was a time that I wasn't going to participate. I had chosen not to run, so I didn't participate in the political organization of the constituency.
Okay, so you were indeed contemplating not going back?
Yes, yes. In fact,
so what made you change your mind?
I didn't have a vote, actually, on the day.
Okay,
so,
yes, so I noticed.
Yes.
So what made you change your mind about running and actually decide to run?
There are a lot of persons, when it was announced that I wasn't going to participate again, actually came asking that I should reconsider and participate again. In the same way that there were some who were saying, what's going to happen with entertainment now? Others were saying, what's going to happen with the education programs now?
Yes.
And so a lot of persons came to me and said, the party also came to me to ask to reconsider. And after a while, I thought to myself that I shouldn't back away from the challenges, but to face the challenges up front and seek to re-represent.
So where is the protest now? It's over, it's settled?
Well,
everything is settled in the constituency?
And I am calling on the persons protesting that we entered and we lost, so we must accept democracy as a part of the whole realities. There are some other things to be done. The party has the responsibility to put the best candidates forward, and we feel that the first hurdle as it relates to the delegates' vote. So to just relax a little bit and allow the process to take its course.
The new candidate has your support?
Yes, the new candidate is a People's National Party member, and I support the party. I support the ideology, the principles of the party, and what happened on Sunday doesn't negate the steps that we have taken forward as a party. So while I personally thought that I was a better candidate, at the end of the day, the delegates thought that the other person was a better candidate, and so therefore he receives my support as a party person.
Wouldn't this inspire a shift in the management of the constituency? If your successor wasn't there already supporting the programs that you're doing, wouldn't this protest create some kind of shift?
I don't know. He has to decide what direction he has to take. What I find unfortunate is many people don't accept that you have to give up something to get something. And so it will be impossible for him to continue all the programs and also do some welfare activities. The funds is not sufficient.
So welfare, you packed it, right? You
Yes.
packed the welfare
Yes.
stuff for education.
Well, welfare is poverty alleviation. That's
Yes.
short term. Education is poverty prevention. That's
Yes.
long term.
Okay.
So therefore, I could always do welfare to make a poor person live a little better, or I can do education to make a person as a child not become poor in the future.
You won on being different. You won because you challenged the establishment.
Yes.
You had to do what you did. Isn't that a fact?
I was
You had to be
convicted.
different. You had to be long term. You had to go for change.
Yes.
Big change.
Yes.
And you were doing that, weren't you?
I was trying, yes. I was trying.
And you were defeated as a result of trying that.
Well, to an extent, because what happens is that the things that I implemented would have affected negatively the core PMP support more than it would have affected the constituents.
Yes.
So what would have been positive to the constituents would have been in some ways perceived negative to the core support. For example, back to school would have been in the main
Yes.
received by your core supporters. And so when you cut out back to school and build a road instead, it means that those driving on the road feel happy because they weren't getting back to school in the first place. But those who used to get back to school now feel sad because they are now getting less than they received before. And so the core support who used to get Christmas work are the ones that are now sad because I removed Christmas work to do road work. And so those things, I understand how they're negatively affected and their perceptions, but I think I didn't market it sufficiently.
Yes, that's a question. How much do you blame yourself for the way you promote your ideas, the way you communicate your ideas to your constituents?
Yes.
Do you blame yourself
Yes,
at all for this loss?
If Coca-Cola is consumed, Pepsi can't blame the consumer. You must blame yourself as Pepsi to say whether the product wasn't sufficient or the marketing wasn't sufficient.
Okay.
There's no way that I'll say that educating and infrastructure development isn't a good product. And so therefore the marketing must have been insufficient. And I allowed my constituents to be exposed, the delegates, to rumors more than facts.
So is that the end of Damion Crawford in representational politics?
No, because I haven't changed the Noise Abatement Act yet.
Okay. All right. So wait a minute. Now. Let's go to that. Let's go to the entertainment portfolio because we can't wait to get into that.
Yes.
How does this impact that?
Well, I think it has been accepted that I was one of the greatest supporters of the entertainment as a economic contribution and a contributor. I think with Babsy Grange, we were the two that fought most for entertainment to be accepted as mainstream. And one of the problems that we had is that because the public saw it as recreation only, then government policy didn't come to satisfy entertainment as a movement into progressive and economic earning. And so that mindset would have caused for us to do many things, such as having for the first time entertainers be able to get tools of trade and carrying their equipment without duty. And that's one of the reasons why we were fighting for a change in the Noise Abatement Act to ensure that those who are not disturbing anyone could continue into the wee hours of the night because the country is too poor for all of us to be sleeping at the same time. You know, understanding that it was an economic benefit for those who are keeping their round robins and their events, because a factory that would have employed 100 people now employ 20. Machines have replaced human beings. And so a person who was once a part of the labor force now either sells something or keeps something.
Okay.
And that event that he's keeping, you can't put a man in a position that he can't now satisfy the market. You can't tell KFC to sell boiled chicken, even though it might be more healthy. The market demands a later party time, so the promoter can't promote an earlier party time. And so therefore we're saying that because everybody can't be asleep at the same time, equally everybody can't be awake at the same time. And so we don't want to prevent persons from sleeping, but we are putting in zones and we have communities that are accepting of events as a central part of their economic activity.
So this is work in progress.
We're at the last hurdle.
Do you lose your job as state minister as a result of this loss?
Well, if you're not in Parliament, the Prime Minister decides what happens after that. However, to
So
this
it's the
point,
Prime
I
Minister's
remain.
call.
Yes, but I still remain minister at this point.
Yes, you are still
Yes,
minister
yes.
up to the next general
Right.
election.
So before I go, I'll have to ensure that we finished with the entertainment registry. As you know, that is very far ahead. We're now putting it on online. That we finished with events rating, so a parent can know that my child is attending this event and this is what I expect my child to consume. But even an adult should know that this promotion is on and this is what I expect to consume. And a sponsor knows, so you know this is what I'm supporting with my brand. Okay. We also must ensure that the zone, we have finished with the testing to ensure that zones are not disturbing people unduly. And now we're going to do the period upon which we're giving free access to the zone, the downtown zone, so persons would not have to pay for the place of amusement license, etc., so that we promote the use of the zone. And as I said, my commitment is that before I leave, the Noise Abatement Act should be reviewed to be more fair to those who are participating in
entertainment. Sounds like you make up your mind to leave.
Well,
even if the Prime Minister wants you, if the Prime Minister wins,
well, I'm not,
wants you to continue in the portfolio, would you?
Yes, I'll definitely consider it, but I'm not putting the round robins in a position that if I am not there for any reason, it can't go on. Because I understand that there are many persons living because of those events. We had 26,000 events last year. It's a central part of our economy. And it's not only for the person who's a patron, it is for the person who now feeds his family by becoming a promoter.
Right, I'm glad you brought us up to speed on the entertainment portfolio, because that's critical, because that is one of the things that I think consumed so much of you that maybe you couldn't be more sociable in the constituency. But sum up some of the work, though, the achievements in the constituency as an MP.
Oh, well, for one, we moved constitutional primary from 60% literacy to 92% literacy. Yes. And we congratulate the teachers and the principal. But we made lots of financial investment and we designed a program. We also had all the children that attended our classes at 86% mastery in English in the literacy. The constituency average was 56%. Also, in between 2010 and 2013, we moved in every area of GSAT an improvement of at least 4 percentage points in math, in English, in social sciences. And we're saying to our kids that we are competing for the traditional schools with other children that are going to extra classes and go GSAT and private tutors. So we provided Saturday and Sunday classes for these students to ensure that they could get into these schools that will likely have higher CXC results. Because we know that there's an education apartheid that causes us to expect Campion to get 8 subjects, but to expect Tarrant to get 2. That is why we are elated when Tarrant get 5, but not concerned when Campion get 8, because we get more than we expected from what the system is. So I was trying to get more of our students to compete effectively to get into these traditional schools that could then provide the breakfast programs, because they have old boys associations and so money, alumni money, etc.
But is this the change that we all want in Jamaica? That kind of result?
Yeah, and I don't think my
education?
In general, the constituents was in agreement. Because at the end of the day, as I said, you can have poverty alleviation or you can have poverty prevention. However, a lot of Jamaicans don't understand that there's an opportunity cost, that they give up something to get something. So they want both alleviation and prevention. And unfortunately, resources are not there. So we had a country where every man and them food and nobody buying the groceries. So the pot empty. And now that the pot empty, every man still want them food and don't want to buy the groceries. So people are saying you have to take your time to implement those things. You can't take time when you're in a crisis. A crisis means that we are one step away from no return. So if you're in a crisis, everything must be immediate and effective. And so therefore, there was no slow introduction as far as I was concerned.
What's your political future, Minister?
Well, based on the response from the public, it seems that they agreed with what I was trying to do.
Okay.
And so if they agreed with what I was trying to do, then the more them get it should be the more they want it. So I should now continue to give them what they
so you're open for support in politics?
Definitely, definitely. I don't like politics itself, but I like government. And you can't have government without politics.
Do you have ambition for the top job?
Yeah.
Party leader and PM?
Anybody that is in politics should want to be the PM. Otherwise, they don't have ambition. Okay. So therefore, any teacher should want to be the principal. Otherwise, she don't have ambition. Now, after a while, you'd realize if your talents and capacities can achieve it. But at this time, I have that ambition, like all others who are willing to speak the truth.
Okay. Where are you on this proposed British prison?
Well, I think it is harder to accept because it's Britain. So you're looking at it from a clouded eye, because you're saying those who enslaved us is now carrying a prison.
Yes.
But I don't agree with the backlash, because there are many Jamaicans in prison who don't have a support system because they don't have family in England. They will benefit from such a system. So can you imagine you're in prison and you don't have a mother to carry some rice and peas one day? Can you imagine being in prison and you can't get a constant call or a visit? So there will be some persons, not everybody in prison is going to be there from there were two. There's some that sought an opportunity, fell foul of the law, and that will assist them to be better. Equally, we need a prison. We need schools and we need hospitals, but we also need a prison because we have criminals.
But isn't it a matter of priority?
No, if it is that you get a gift of a prison, then the money that you have should be prioritized for schools.
Yes.
But a prisoner can be schooled, but him can't be sent to school. A person who is a criminal isn't sent to school. He's sent to prison, and he can be schooled in prison.
But shouldn't he be at the back of the line?
Can't be at the back of the line because he disrupts the society.
Yes, he should be at the back of the line in terms of his better treatment in prison.
No, but you need to rehabilitate this man, not just punish this man. A prison has two responsibilities: to separate and punish, but to rehabilitate and reintroduce. And so therefore you need a type of prison that when a person is reintroduced, he isn't a better criminal.
Okay.
So the people who are against Maradine's unfortunate demise can't equally be against a better prison, because a person that goes in for a spliff shouldn't be in the same cell as a person who's in for murder.
Yes, but again, I will say that it's a matter of priority. I think that to cut the stream, the flow of prisoners.
So we do that with our money.
We do what you are doing in that East to Russ and
yes, with our money.
Educate the kids.
So with our money, we had to have a prison. There's no society without a prison.
Right.
So therefore, I'm saying that we as a society now should demand of the government and Portia Simsimila. And again, we have bad ears and bad eyes, because they also said they were giving another 300 million for other infrastructure.
Yes.
They also said they're giving 60 million for health. So as much as I'm a little bit aggrieved because the British come give me a prison.
Yes.
I understand that we also benefit. So they are seeking a benefit. They're not giving us a favor because they want to send 300. But we also have 1,200 who will not be reintroduced. The other part of the problem I have is, what is the alternative? Now, what would we prefer? To have a person to be rehabilitated and then reintroduced, or to be reintroduced without being rehabilitated? Because the British court system, they can then say, instead of 10 years, you're getting 1 year and you go back to your yard.
All right, let's segue now to reparation.
Yes.
Your views on that?
I would want reparation because it will benefit the society. But at the same time, I don't see any political party in Britain being willing, because the British people will not want to lose that money. Now, as much as we say that Britain developed, there are also black people in Britain that never benefited from the slave activity that happened in Jamaica. So, as I said, I would want it. I don't know how much we can demand it, but I think that it is more than just a Jamaica to British conversation. It is a global acceptance that slavery would have underdeveloped some societies. And therefore, the IMF would have to be in a conversation. Do you write off some debt because our soil would have been less productive, being that it was raped? Do you give us more grants because our people would have been more backward?
For schools? So we can stop?
Yeah.
We make less prisoners?
Right. But you have some bright prisoners too. I don't buy this argument about a man poor so he become a criminal. And why do you rape? Rape can't eat.
No, well, I say
you understand?
I mean, you would lessen the amount of people
you create opportunities, and by extension have persons less willing to participate. Because prison to me is a stress to me now, because I lose too much. When you have people that lose nothing by going to prison, I'm not really mind. But the people who have are less likely to commit crime. So all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, I think that we're approaching reparations incorrectly, because it's a global acceptance, not a British acceptance. Britain might have benefited, but the world must then say there are some persons that started the race with a hamstring injury because of the atrocities of slavery, and therefore we will contribute in this way. But let us not accept, or not fail to accept, that a lot of the problems we currently have were created also by ourselves, our own responsibility. I cannot blame slavery for what everything Jamaica is now facing, because we always wanted to eat our food and never wanted to buy the groceries.
Okay, sir. So there's so much we could debate about with that. I rest my case for now, and wish you well, and hope that things can change, and you will still represent the people of Jamaica in politics, and that you can continue your work in the Ministry of Tourism and Entertainment.
Well, I am confident that entertainment is better off for me having been a participant, and I'm equally confident that the constituents have been better off. And so even if it is one term, I will sleep easy.
Okay. Well, Sir Crawford, sleep easy, sir, because your future is bright. You're young, you've got a lot of years in front of you to come, you know what I mean? So don't worry, you'll get there, sir. Just keep the focus and the belief that you can make change in this country called Jamaica. All right, stay with us. Still to come right here on stage, a big campaigner in a different way. Mr. Vegas, he'll be here. He'll be back.
I say you got to love yourself, respect yourself, hey, love yourself. You can't love me if you don't love.
Hi, thanks for watching our video. Hope you have enjoyed it. Please subscribe to our channel by clicking right here and enjoy so much more where that came from.
The park is going to be closed in 20 minutes.
Yes.
So Bugle called an assassin, and Spragga run on, and Rat run on. And of course, I said 20 minutes to go,